Welcome to this edition of Coming Home, Life After Semester at Sea. My name is Dee Colombini. I was one of the counselors on Voyage 134. With me today is ASL Interpreter Araya Williams, and our special guest today is Kathleen Niegocki, another ship counselor.
Okay.
If you're new to our series, I'll tell you a little bit about Semester at Sea, or we also call it SAS. SAS is a semester-long study abroad program on a ship. There are students, faculty, and staff, and classes take place on the ship and in ports as we sail around the world. Voyage 134 traveled to 10 different countries as we sailed from Europe to China. The idea for the series came about after realizing that readjusting to life can be quite a process after coming home. It's been several months since Voyage 134, and we wanted to talk about reentry and what it's been like for our fellow voyagers. So welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you, Dee.
We're so excited to have you today.
This is fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your role. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role as a counselor on the ship and what SAS was like for you.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah. So hi, I'm Kathleen Niegocki, she, her. I'm a psychologist and a therapist, and I've worked as a therapist in higher ed spaces since my career started. And so along with Dee and our colleague Carrie Flighter, I was one of the counselors on Voyage 134. So what that involved was a little bit of work actually before the voyage. So people who either wanted to have a conversation about kind of how to like mentally and emotionally prepare for the voyage, or people who had, been in treatment, things like that. We kind of collaborated and consulted with people before the voyage even started so that they had a chance to kind of think through, how they were going to take care of themselves being away from home. And then on the voyage, we did some like just kind of trainings and a few like outreach programs. And then we also like saw people one-on-one and in groups. So, and then we were, available for emergencies and, that's kind of like what that role involved. And then I also got the chance to do a few other things like post-port reflections and have a ship family. So it was cool to kind of like dip in and out of different roles on the ship. Yeah.
That sounds like you were quite busy.
It was, well, we were quite busy.
Quite busy.
Yeah.
Can you say a little bit about what a ship family is?
Yeah, sure. A ship family is an opportunity that students have to like adopt a ship parent. So students could like sign up if they wanted to become part of like a ship family. So it was just another opportunity to have like a small mini community or family within the bigger ship community. So I got to be a ship mom to some badass women.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
fun.
Yes.
So fun. So, Kathleen, what do you miss the most?
Oh man, I mean, there's a lot, and I've been thinking about this. Um, I think what I miss the most, honestly, is like my kind of like morning routine on the ship. And I think a lot of people in these interviews have talked about missing the ship life because it's just so unique and so special, and also really hard to find. It's hard to recreate that. But after some trials and tribulations, I kind of established like a nice rhythm for myself in the mornings. I would get up. It would be like maybe 6:30, 6:45. I would go up to Lido deck, put my stuff down. I'd have one cup of coffee, and then I would walk around the deck, listen to my same songs over and over, do my laps. Sometimes I would see you. Sometimes I would see, there was kind of like a little morning crew. Sometimes I would catch the tail end of sunrise, just see the water from all directions, and then go back and have more coffee and have breakfast and hang out, and then go to global studies and feel like a student, because everybody in the whole shipboard community was um, part of that global studies class. So it was just, those mornings were really special. I miss that.
Yes, to just walk out and be able to do your laps at sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And so much learning was going on every day, and just it was amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss it too.
Yeah.
Tell us about one of your favorite memories.
Well, Can I do two possibly?
Of course.
I'll do two possibly. So the first, and I guess these are, I mean, I have so many memories that are very like personally meaningful, but these are like the ones that I find myself telling the most. Um,
Mm,
one of them was in Ghana. We were in at the it was like our well, I was with you, Dee, when this happened. Well, or I didn't know it at the time, but I was with you in Takoradi. It was the second to last day in Ghana. We had gone to like a beach and we had met up with some people. We took a taxi back to the ship. Life was good. And then the next morning of our last day, I was going to go to a coffee shop with a couple of people and I could not find my fanny pack, which
right.
contained my wallet, all of my credit cards, kind of everything. Um, and I just had this feeling it was really gone. So it wasn't at the Lost and Found. There was this like lovely shuttle service who kind of ran the shuttles from the ship to the edge of the port. They hadn't seen it and they kind of warned me, you probably aren't going to get it back just because that who knows where that taxi went and if it was, registered and who knows. So I was like starting to cry a little bit, sat on the shuttle, started like trying to get online and cancel all my credit cards. And I was just trying to be like, it's okay. I was still going to go to the coffee shop. My friends were going to lend me some money. And then I was just trying to stay calm, because I just knew I wasn't going to get this thing back. And then lo and behold, we pulled up at the edge of the port and there was this guy, this like kind of handsome older gentleman with like a gray beard. And he had been there, he was sort of the dispatch guy for the taxis. And he like stepped up right onto our shuttle and he had my fanny pack like in his hand. Like it was just right
Amazing.
there waiting for me. And I just like bawled. I just felt so emotional about it. Um, it was just, yeah, I just felt I can't explain it, taken care of and like just this kindness. And I was able actually to track down the driver from our ride. Like
Yes, yes.
the new driver had the phone number of that driver and then I told him come to the coffee shop and so he came to the coffee shop and I was able to give him like a nice tip and like take a picture together and it was just like such a beautiful moment, of like generosity and kindness in a country that has like been through so much kind of like trauma and horrors, over so many hundreds of years and just to really feel that kind, generous spirit and experience that. It was just really cool.
It's amazing. It's so unexpected. It just
Yeah. Yeah. And the other one
really
I can
thank
tell
you.
in like 10 seconds, which was that me, you, and my husband were in Hong Kong trying to find food at this night market because the food stalls were like not open and it was like not looking good. And we were looking and looking for a vegetarian spot. And then finally we found a Tibetan fast food. And we didn't think it was going to work because it was this teeny little storefront thing. Anyway, I'm going on and on, but lo and behold, it ended up that we were escorted to like basically someone's apartment, um,
Yes, down the block, around the corner.
down the block and around the corner and up a flight of stairs and into a lovely living room. And that's where we ordered our food from, and that's where we ate our dinner. And it was just another kind of unexpected, magical moment, that just felt like kind of it was meant to be for some reason. So that's another one that I love.
Me too. That was truly magical, unexpected, and
Yes.
just, like somebody else said, we just said yes, we just said yes and we went for it. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. Some of the best food I've ever eaten.
I know the momos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, how was coming back for you? What were some of the struggles? What was it like?
So coming back was hard. I didn't really talk about this yet, but like, I did semester at sea during a really big time of transition in my life. And I do think a lot of people are kind of called to do it during times of, change and transformation. I had left a job that I had been at for a long time. I had recently moved, I had a big birthday, and so coming home um was hard. I loved semester at sea. I did not feel ready to leave. Like even though I had my dog and family and friends to see, I just didn't feel ready. So coming back was hard. And I think what compounded that was that I wasn't coming back to like a known job or any like job. I was coming back to sort of this like abyss of the unknown and sort of this pressure to kind of figure out what I was doing next. So that definitely like added to the challenge, because I really missed it. And then I also just, didn't have any structure that I was returning to that already existed.
And you took a really big risk. I mean, it's brave to just go on a semester at sea and then to not know what you might be stepping back into when you come home.
Yeah, yeah, yes. And I signed up for that. But when it
Right.
it was hard and I really missed it. Um,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me too. What have you done to manage some of that? Like, what have been some of your coping strategies, or what do you find that you're doing that you're like, oh, that's really helping?
Yeah, I actually like wrote a few things down because this was interesting to reflect on because some of it wasn't even really on purpose. Um, I think like one, more purposeful thing was just like creating routine. Like for myself, like I said, I came back to like having to build a business and look for other ways to, piece together some jobs. Like, so I think just creating some structure for myself really helped, especially just my morning routine. Because I told you my morning routine on the
Mm.
ship was like so special. So I think creating a morning routine was really helpful and like having goals, but also like not beating myself up and like allowing myself to take time. I think I needed reassurance that it was like okay to like not have it all figured out immediately, but to like gradually chip away at my goals. So that was one. Surprisingly, like wearing all this my semester at sea gear was like a way bigger deal than I thought it was going to be. I think maybe for like the first month, that's like all I wore was like these two shirts in rotation. It was like my uniform and I really love wearing the stuff. I lost a hat and then I literally had someone like get me a new one. They were just all this stuff. It feels really important. And some of it is like school spirit kind of things. And also just um, like an opener, like come and talk to me. I've already had, well, one person came up to me in a park, who had sailed a long time ago. So it just feels really fun. And I wear my earrings from the different ports. These are from Mauritius. Um, and then I guess like the most important thing that again, I don't think was like intentional was, like trying to just approach every day and every even small excursion I take as an opportunity for there to be some kind of magic, to like treat these things as little adventures, and have like a spirit of like wonder and openness to being surprised. So I really try, like when I go for walks with my dog, I try to approach it from that place of like, we're going on an adventure, or when I go into the city, um, or travel to visit family, like to try to not just see it as like, oh, these are not big trips like the one I was just on. But I think that has helped a lot to like bring that same kind of like spirit to just mundane things.
I love that. You don't have to be around the world. It could just be out
No.
your door.
Yeah, that has helped a lot. That's helped a lot.
That's really, really great. And you make me kind of remember too, it's like souvenirs, well, they serve a role. Like you said,
Yeah.
your shirt is like it's opening connections for new people with you who
Yes.
see your shirt, or your earrings might remind you of a time that's really precious in your heart.
Yes.
And um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, and also listening to the songs that I listened to on the voyage, like over and over. I'm too overwhelmed to look through my photos and organize them.
Mm,
I can listen to the same songs from Semester at Sea, all the time. And it always I remember where I was and where I listened to them. And, that is a really good tether. And of course, like staying connected in ways like this too.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know how you can't listen to those songs. I mean, I bawl. I just cry when I listen to
Yeah.
some of those. There are some songs I just cannot.
There's a couple that I skip over,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
some
And
I
it's good crying. It's good crying.
yeah, right.
So,
Yeah.
um, well, it's about time to start wrapping things up.
Mhm.
Uh, it was such a delight to talk with you. Thank you for talking with us today.
Thanks, Dee. This was really cool. You know, you and I and Viviana have been kind of doing these interviews together, so it's really cool to kind of to be on the other side. So, thanks.
Well, I'm so glad I got to talk with you.
Yeah, me too.
Happy journeys today, wherever today takes you. Bye-bye.
Bye.